Yeah.
Okay, hope everybody's having a good Saturday. It's been pretty good for me so far. I did an eBay purchase from Poland of all places. It was some other kind of not autograph related, but I just thought it was kind of fun. The shipping is always ginormous through the foreign vendors, but you know what? It actually wasn't that much more probably than the United States. All the way from Poland, and I got 3 items. The shipping went way down for multiple items, and there's all kinds of interesting things from that seller. Let's put it this way: it's a military clothing seller, and sell like lots of accessories and things. No weapons, anything of that kind. But I want to show you what I got in today, and I got some pretty cool stuff here. This is a postcard that's been heavily canceled. This says "Why Not Right," and it was some sort of a Burge type car with some crayons in it. I found that at a Goodwill for like a cent, one of those outlet stores. And this is one from Solana Beach, California, and it's got these kind of neat, I don't know what they call those, bullet cancels or what they call it. And then they've got the lines going through each stamp. So it's been greatly canceled, and then the machine got it down there again. So that's just kind of fun to see all those different cancels there. At least my stamps got canceled, and I can read Solana Beach well enough. Then I got an amazing postcard return here in a minute, but what I'll do is show you this one first. This is new Stoyahawk, I think that's how you pronounce it, out of Alaska, and found this nice totem pole carving postcard from I think the 80s. That was one I got at the Steam Up, I believe that's what I got that from. And there are the cancels there. So I have one from California and one from Alaska, so that's neat. Now I have one that gave me back my letter. They gave me back my original envelope, and it made it all the way to California before it got canceled. And this is out of San Miguel, California post office. So my stamps got canceled San Miguel, and they gave me that back. And they wrote a letter here saying, my deepest apologies for my tardiness in returning your postcard. Your letter was filed with our monthly bills and not with the other postmaster mail. I hope you're doing fine up north and continue to enjoy your postcard collecting. Peace and love. E. Philip Angoe, postmaster of San Miguel, California. So that's neat. And what I sent was this. So that's really awesome. And this is the mission garden of the Arches of San Miguel Archangel. So that's really cool, and there's a cancel there. Really awesome to get that. I put my address on there thinking it would just come back through the mailer, but anyway, sometimes you can do it the other way and not have your address on there like that, but I like to save a little bit of dollars, and the cancel's all I care about. Now the last thing I got was pretty neat, and I think this was, I don't have the eBay slip here, how much it cost, but it was under $10, I believe it was. This one came out of Michigan, I know, because of the return address. There's the stamps that they put on there. So some older 80s stamps there. And I got 2 lots. They were about $5 a piece, free shipping. And there was actually a little more than $5 worth of postage in there. There's 100 stamps in here each, of vintage stamps here. All brand new, never been used. So I'll just open one of these and show you what I got. Maybe I'll open up both of them. But what we have here, so here's a block of 4. These are old 2-cent stamps. You can see I've changed the backdrop screensaver there. And then we've got an old 5-cent stamp from the 1960s. So that's kind of cool. These are old. These are probably out of the 1940s. This is Overrun Countries set. That's kind of cool. I have all of them. I think maybe one I'm missing from my stamp book. I know some of those I got from my mom and dad's stamp books, and maybe my uncle. This is probably from the 70s or the early 80s. This is Emily Bissell stamp. They're all still good, and they're all still like baseball cards. They're like the junk wax. They're still so common. You could pay $1 for that stamp on eBay, this 15-cent stamp. Free shipping, or even 25-50 cents shipping. Or you can get it in a lot for a lot cheaper. I've seen lots like, get 100 stamps for $5. What they'll do is they'll put in 100, 2, 3, and 1 cent penny stamps, and those things are more common than probably money. Here's a 5 cent, cancer research stamp. The other one should have a mix of higher value stamps, I think. Let's just see. Like I said, some of these are super old. I'll try to find the oldest one here. The oldest one was that 40 stamp. Here's some 70s butterfly stamps. These are circa 1977, 76, 77, I think. Here's energy conservation and development stamp. That's a nice block of 2. That's how they came. I mean, they had just the 2 styles there. Here's another one that's kind of cool. The Cook and that one. I may actually need that in my book, the one that set up like this. And we've got, another block of, so there was 10 of each denomination. Here's a 10-cent World Peace and Law. And here's a relatively new one. This is probably one of the last ones that didn't get gum or glue on it, or a sticker. This is a lick stamp, and this is probably from the mid-90s, early 2000s. Let's see if we have. Here's another really old. Here's, I think, a West Point this is a Naval Academy stamp. This is probably out of the very early 50s. So that's cool. And like I said, you can find, if you do your research, you can find sellers that are below the face value of postage. You might find it like bulk postage. You want to make sure, as Troy said, or as some of these other sellers, that the rolls of flags are a lot of them are fake. Here's a 6-cent Eisenhower. That was out of the early 70s. This is something like 71, 72. And I'll just show you a few more here and not bore you with all of them. Here's a 15-cent stamp. See, so these 15-cent are great for postcards because I could just put 3 of them on there, like I usually do, 2 or 3. Here's a Red Cloud stamp. That's a 10-cent. And the 10 cents are also one of my favorite stamps to get because the 10 cents at the post office, the current ones, don't take to the cancel. Most of these stamps are kind of matte or semi-gloss, so they will take a cancel quite nicely. Here's one of the most popular stamps ever, and this is the stamp collecting one, showing the famous Benjamin Franklin stamp there. That's really pretty neat stamp there. I have many, many examples of that. That commands a little bit of money, but not too much. And we'll just end it off with this nice Apollo 8 stamp here, which I've used dozens upon dozens of times for space mail. That's really cool to use that one. Oops, I dropped it. As I said, if you want to save money on postage, it takes a little more time to do so, but in the long run, you'll thank yourself because sometimes you'll get some of these cool stamps back, and you might even save a couple of them. Last batch of stamps I got some baseball stamps which are quite collectible, and Topps uses those for some of their projects and stuff. So they're getting maybe a little harder to use if some of these companies are using them for their cards and whatnot. But you have to remember though that those stamp cards or those coin cards that have a penny or a stamp in it, most of those are only like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10-cent stamp at the most, and those stamps are worth only 10 cents at a piece. So you're buying a card with a penny stamp in it, or a penny coin in it, or a 25-cent coin in it. So the card is worth at least what's in there, as long as it's not canceled. I can't believe they're not using cancel stamps here. I will say, however, a final note that a lot of these new stamps are actually cheaper than canceled stamps. To buy a canceled 1-cent stamp would be silly. But to buy a brand new canceled stamp, you got a fresh stamp that's not been ruined, and you can put that in your book or use it. So that's all I have for you. I got mostly all postcard and stamp related stuff, and hope you enjoyed some of that, and thank you for watching.